Hello, welcome.
Welcome from Toronto.
Welcome from Toronto, Collision 2022. It is great to be in Toronto today, and we've been here for about a day and got a chance to see the city yesterday before the festivities, and the conference kicks off here this afternoon. And we wanted to get on and talk about why these conferences are important. You know, what we're going to see at Collision, what our kind of game plan is, and what we think we're going to accomplish here. And it's really great to be with you. I'm Rhett Power. I am CEO of Accountability Inc. and contributor at Forbes. And I'm going to have my colleagues introduce themselves.
Yeah, I'm Amanda Banks. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sports to Suits, as well as the Banks LLC. I will say, as you jump in, definitely drop a comment to let us know that you're tuning in. Also tell us where you're from. And if you're in Toronto, please reach out. We would love to meet you while we're here.
And my name is Nowoslawski. I'm the founder of an outbound growth agency named Growth Engine X. And we ran a couple of fun plays before we came up here, including sending out a ton of emails to the speakers as well as some of the featured startups. And we'll be doing some investor ones today and doing some cool automations. So yeah, fun to be here.
Yeah, so this is sort of our pre-game show.
Yeah.
Sort of, so to speak, right? Before we get going. And then I think once a day, probably either at the end of the day, we're going to give sort of a recap of the day, who we talk to. We've got kind of an amazing lineup of people we're going to be speaking to, interviewing, networking with. And so I want to ask you guys, we'll get into who we're talking to in a few minutes, but what's the importance for you guys in terms of networking? Why come to something like Collision?
I mean, Collision is on steroids. Like, it is huge. There's 35,000 plus attendees. There's about 1,200 startups from all over the world. There's 140 plus countries, 850 plus investors. So for me, it's getting exposed to a lot of these incredible people, seeing what technology is out there and how people are using it, and just communicating with all sorts of people. I mean, it's definitely one not to miss.
Yeah, and then for me as well, you know, I teach a lot of the startups and the people that I work with of how to cut through the noise using cold traffic and things like that. But there's honestly nothing that beats coming to a conference with a good price point on the ticket, so everyone knows that you're serious about what you're doing, and then you're face to face with a person, and you can so much better cut through that noise and have a business conversation or network or do all those things that, like, you don't have to even try. Like, you could provide so much value in a cold way, but all you have to do is just walk up to somebody at Collision and you can start making a connection.
Well, and that's what people are here for. I mean, people are here to get to know each other and to communicate about all sorts of fun things. What are you excited about?
Look, I mean, I'm facilitating a couple panels. I'm leading up and hosting the pitch competition on Thursday.
That's exciting.
Which is going to be really, really fun and just great to see the energy and the new entrepreneurs, you know, trying to win this competition and pitch their idea and their concept and their new business. So I'm excited about that. We've got the TKS interview with the Knowledge Society with the young people. We're going to do that podcast. And we've got a whole host of, I mean, you can go down the laundry list. I think
we've got a whole list of
30 or 25 or 30 interviews on your stage, on the Erythium stage, and then in the forum. And so, you know, I'm excited about all of those because those are new people. Most of them, a few of them I've met, some of them I know, some of them you guys know. But, you know, all of them are doing incredible things. And I think that's what's remarkable about this week is everybody in this group, everybody that's here is doing something really interesting.
Yeah.
And so just to learn and being around in that environment and being around and kind of soaking all that energy up really is what I'm excited about.
So I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask what Collision is. They're not familiar with Collision. They asked about Web Summit, who's run by the same group of people. Do you want to dive a little bit into what Collision is? I mean, it's the world's fastest growing tech conference, first and foremost. But there's so many different types of people. There's celebrities and athletes and startups and investors. I mean, it's just this really beautiful group of folks.
Yeah, I mean, Collision's an interesting name, right? So I think what collision is really about is a collision of ideas and a collision of business and people, and that's and everybody plays a part, whether there's a celebrity or sport or entertainment to tech. We're all in those sort of ecosystem where some of those lines are kind of blurred between whether you're a sports star, but as a sports star, you may have investments in a tech company or a new, venture. So I think that's why we have that's why everybody comes to this, is because they're here to learn about new ideas. They're here to look for investment. We've got a huge lineup of investors here. They're looking for new companies, right? They're looking for new things. So that's why it's called collision. I think it is a collision of all these different sectors, and I think it's brings everybody together. So maybe something new ideas can come from it, new partnerships. I mean, our relationships here with you guys are from something like this. So I think that's what the importance of it is. How do you think coming to something like this can change your business?
Oh my gosh. I even think about like all of the people that I got to talk to tomorrow, because I was just checking out the attendees list.
Hundreds.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of people that you want to talk to, and it could radically change I actually think that this conference alone, with even the people that I've been talking to just on LinkedIn, just one-off prior to, I think I could set myself up for the next 6, 7, 8 months of growth just with the potential people that I'm going to be meeting here. And so, it actually is so much potential that I'm kind of like gulping a little bit of like, oh my gosh, like there is going to be so much to be done here and so much to follow up with after. And you really have to be prepared with a system walking in and a system walking out to capture all of that growth.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we missed at Web Summit. So Web Summit, we went to Portugal, in November of last year, and it was so overwhelming. Eric and I had never been to one of these before.
Yeah.
And so walking in and meeting all of these incredible people, I don't think we were quite ready for the magnitude of the conversations and like the innovation and everything going on there. And so now that we come from that experience, we kind of know how to create a system, and not just an individual system, but a system collectively. So
what do you mean by that?
So, I mean, going in with a plan, right? Like everybody has something that they're looking to achieve. So for me, I want to meet incredible athletes that are looking for opportunities to maybe even be guests on Sports Suits, investor conversations so that we can continue to grow our business. So individually, that's kind of a goal, but also collectively as a team, doing these media interviews, bringing some of the exciting things and the conversations that we're having to the table so that you guys can experience it if you're not here this year, which we would highly encourage coming next year. But that's what I mean by that, is having somewhat of an agenda and of a system of the types of conversations you want to have, the people you want to get connected to, but also what outcomes you're looking to drive, not just individually, but us collectively as a team.
So who are you guys excited about to speak to?
Oh, definitely for me, Jaeger McConnell. I use Crunchbase almost every day. And so we met at Web Summit and I gave him the same compliment. I think Crunchbase is a phenomenal platform. Can't wait to talk to him about what direction they're going to be bringing it into for the next 6 months.
That'll be an interesting interview.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think the Knowledge Society, you mentioned it a little bit earlier. So the Knowledge Society is a group of these incredible kids that, they are on a whole other level.
Yeah.
They're the smartest in the world. And so last time at Web Summit, you were able to do an interview with them, a podcast interview. And we've got that coming up again. And so I'm super excited to see the progress that they have had in their businesses. I think it's a whole new group of kids too. I think it's a whole new group. Yeah. But see the progress that they're making. Some of the things that these kids are working on is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, not what I was doing when I was 15. I was not creating a new way to monitor ocean temperature when I was 15, or some of the other genetic and cells and biology stuff that they're working in labs at universities when just kind of mind-blowing stuff. But so who else are you interested in seeing and talking to?
Well,
that's a fire alarm.
I guess we're not going to be live anymore.
We're in a big high rise, so
we should probably go.
We'll jump
back in later. We'll jump back in later. But until then, we're going to jump off.